Vincent made me stand in our apartment hallway while he sniffed my work scrubs like a bloodhound because I took an extra 10 minutes at the Acme. 10 minutes. I was stuck behind a lady with 40 coupons, but he's there going, "Who were you really with?" and demanding to smell my clothes for another man's cologne. There I was, arms out like I was going through airport security, while my boyfriend of 3 years sniffed my shoulders. The coupon lady. That's why I took so long. But he pulled up his app that tracks my location and showed me I'd been stationary in the parking lot for 4 minutes after leaving the store, so clearly I must have been meeting someone. I was putting groceries in my trunk in the November rain. It takes a minute. But no, I had to pull up my bank statement to prove I'd only been to Acme. I did it. I explained everything like it was completely normal. This is my life now. It started so slowly, I didn't even see I was drowning. Vincent's ex, Ashley, cheated on him 3 years ago, screwed his former roommate kind of dirty. When we started dating, he was still messed up about it. I felt bad for him. I wanted to show him that not all women are like that. So, when he asked for my Instagram password to feel more secure, I gave it to him. When he suggested I share my location so he wouldn't worry, I did it. When he got anxious about me having male friends, I distanced myself from them. Every single time he asked for something to help him feel safe, I said yes because I loved him. But giving someone an inch, they'll take the entire highway. My schedule is the same every week, but 6 months ago, he started demanding I video call him during my lunch break so he could see where I was. His eyes would scan the background, looking for male coworkers, random men, anything. If I didn't answer within 2 rings, he'd start texting, "Where are you? What are you doing?" I'd have to drop everything and show him I was just eating a sandwich. My coworker Nora started noticing. I made excuses. He's just protective, he just has trauma. She gave me a look like she wanted to say more but didn't. Then there's the phone. Every night, Vincent goes through my phone, texts, DMs, even my work email. If I get a text from a guy, even my cousin, Vincent needs a full explanation. I tried to push back once. He completely broke down, crying, saying Ashley had destroyed his ability to trust and if I really loved him, I'd understand. I apologized for bringing it up. It's gotten worse since. He times my commute. My 23-minute drive can't take longer than 30 without an interrogation. It's like being on house arrest. I've cut off every male friend I had. Vincent said it was disrespectful. And the most pathetic part, I did it. All of it. My little sister, Julia, is a junior at Temple. Last month, we met up at Chick-fil-A, and I had to video call Vincent to prove I was with her. Julia watched, her mouth hanging open. "What the actual hell was that?" she asked. I tried to laugh it off. She wasn't laughing. She told me this wasn't normal, that it was controlling, and I needed to wake up. My parents noticed, too. During Sunday dinner a few weeks ago, Vincent called me 3 times. My dad finally told him to let me enjoy time with my family. Vincent got tense and later told me my dad was disrespectful. We haven't been back since. The grocery store sniffing thing broke something in me. I caught a glimpse of us in the hallway mirror, and I didn't recognize myself. This isn't love. This is control. This morning, I went to work like normal. During my lunch break, Vincent called for the daily video check-in. I stared at my phone and, for the first time in 2 years, I let it go to voicemail. He called back. I didn't answer. Then the texts started. "Where are you? Call me back right now." I turned my phone face down and ate my sandwich. My hands were shaking. My heart was pounding. All because I didn't answer a lunchtime video call. I had 14 missed calls and 31 texts. The last one said, "If you don't call me back in the next 5 minutes, I'm driving to your office." I know I can't keep living like this. That lunch break where I didn't answer was on Thursday. By Friday morning, Vincent was watching me like a hawk. After work, I stopped at Target for laundry detergent, texting him first, as required. He immediately called, wanting to know which Target, what I was buying, how long I'd be. I told him 15 minutes. "Okay, but if you're longer than 20, I'm going to worry," he said. An older woman in the aisle next to me stared, then asked, "Honey, is everything all right at home?" I almost started crying. I got home in 18 minutes. Vincent was on the couch with his laptop open, tracking my location. "See, you made great time," he said, like he was congratulating me. I snapped. I asked why he needed to track me. He said he wasn't tracking me, he was checking to make sure I was safe. "The difference," he said, "is that tracking implies I don't trust you, but checking implies I care." I told him it felt the same to me. That's when he got upset, bringing up Ashley again, saying she used to get mad when he asked questions, and that's how he missed the signs. "I'm not Ashley," I told him. "I've spent 2 years proving I'm not Ashley, and it's never enough." He got quiet, then asked if I was trying to pick a fight, if there was someone else and this was my way of creating distance to cheat. The audacity. I told him that was insane. He started listing my suspicious behavior. I didn't answer his video call. I seemed annoyed about Target. I was being defensive. I realized this is what he does. Any resistance to his surveillance, he flips it and makes it about me being suspicious. Not this time. I told him I needed space. He lost it, demanding to know what space meant, yelling that I was being manipulative. I grabbed my purse and told him I was going to my parents'. He blocked the bedroom door, insisting we finish the conversation. I pushed past him and drove to my parents' house, crying the whole way. My mom and dad sat with me while I ugly cried on their couch. When I finally told them everything, my dad's face went red with anger. My mom was devastated. Then my phone started buzzing. Vincent was calling. I let it go to voicemail. The texts came in, "Your dad's car is in the driveway, so I know you're there. Why aren't you answering?" My dad looked at my phone. "He's tracking you right now," he said. He told me to turn off location sharing. I hesitated, anxious about Vincent not being able to see where I was. That's when I realized how messed up my thinking had become. I stayed at my parents' that night. Vincent texted me 45 times, ranging from apologetic to angry to accusatory. Saturday morning, my parents told me I needed to end this. My sister Julia showed up, furious, saying she'd been telling me for months this wasn't normal. That afternoon, Vincent showed up at the house. My dad answered the door and told him now wasn't a good time. Vincent raised his voice, insisting he had a right to see me. My dad told him to leave or he'd call the cops. Vincent started yelling my name from the lawn. Julia closed the curtains. We sat there listening to him yell for 10 minutes before he finally left. My dad asked if I wanted a restraining order. I said no, that seemed extreme. He looked at me like I was crazy. Sunday, Julia took me to the art museum. It was the first time in months I'd done something without having to check in. My phone died halfway through, and I didn't even panic. We ran into my coworker Nora at Reading Terminal Market. She took one look at me and asked if I was okay, then asked if it was about Vincent. She'd had a boyfriend exactly like him in college and recognized the signs. She gave me her number and said her husband had a truck and they'd help me move out whenever I was ready. That offer made me realize I actually had to do this. Monday morning, Vincent was waiting in the work parking lot with 2 coffees. I walked straight toward the office, ignoring him. He followed, talking about how he wanted to make peace. He grabbed my arm. I yanked it away and told him to never touch me again. He looked genuinely shocked. I walked into the office. Nora saw him outside and told our boss, Ricky. Ricky went out and told Vincent to leave or he'd call the police. That morning, my mom called. Vincent had shown up at their house again. My dad called the police. Vincent left before they arrived, but they filed a report. During my lunch break, I called Julia and told her I needed to get my stuff. She, my mom, Nora, and Nora's husband, Greg, all agreed to help. We met at the apartment. Vincent wasn't there. The apartment was a mess, like he'd torn through it. There were printed screenshots of my text conversations taped to the walls, texts with Julia, my mom, Nora. He knew I was planning to leave. I started throwing my clothes into garbage bags. 20 minutes later, Vincent walked in. "So this is really it then?" he asked. I said yes. He wanted to talk alone. I said N. Oh. He started walking toward me, and Julia stepped between us. He ignored her and kept talking about how I was overreacting. I asked him if taping my private conversations to the walls was normal. He said he only did it because I was shutting him out. Nora and Greg showed up. Vincent's whole energy changed when another man entered the apartment. We started loading the truck. Vincent followed us on every trip, making comments. On the last trip, he blocked the doorway, saying I owed him a conversation. I told him I didn't owe him anything. I'd spent 2 years proving my innocence when I'd never committed a crime. He started crying, saying he loved me, that everything he did was because he was scared of losing me. He said I'd given him my passwords and location willingly. And he was right. I had, because he'd manipulated every request into a test of my love. I told him that. Julia told him he was delusional. Greg suggested Vincent move. For a second, I thought he might fight, but he just stepped aside and said, "You're going to regret this." I walked out and didn't look back. That night, I blocked him everywhere. My dad helped me make sure there were no tracking apps on my phone. On Friday, I filed for a protection from abuse order. She approved a temporary one, with a hearing scheduled for next month. What I do know is that for the first time in 2 years, my phone isn't being searched. I can go to Target without timing myself. I can eat lunch without a video call. I'm staying at my parents' until I find my own place. I'm going to therapy. I'm reconnecting with the friends I cut off. And to everyone who told me to run, thank you. You were right. This wasn't love. It was control. I'm out, and I'm staying out.